is a presentation of Real Wise Productions and Comey Media Incorporated. Chair swings heard around the world. Next on Mentality. Welcome to another installment of Mentality, the place where iron sharpens iron in the realm of health, wealth, mental health, love, and entrepreneurship, all from a man's perspective. I am one half of the show's hosts, Cole Johnson. I am joined, as always, by the other half, the man who calls himself Wize, my man, my brother, Wize El Jefe. How you doing, man?
I am well, brother. I am doing well. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I really cannot complain. I'm doing great. President Joe Biden is taking credit for Bidenomics, and he is stating proudly how it's benefiting the whole country, even though we have dealt with an inflation crisis for at least the last year and an economic downturn the last two. Now, it turns out that Democrats' unlimited appetite for spending and their refusal to address growing deficits just doesn't sit well with close watchers of our economy. And this should serve as a warning that inaction, which is what we have seen the last 2+ years, is really no longer a viable option. Now, my question to you, sir, is why does it seem as though our president has his head stuck up his behind when it comes to the economy?
Look at him. Just look at seriously. This is why he's the poster boy for why me and Poppy J feel that there should be an age limit to people in office, because you just seeing these old people just. And I shouldn't be saying that because eventually I'm gonna get old, but to me, he's spaced out, man. My mom is she's dealing with Alzheimer's now, right?
Mhm.
And when I look at him, he's kind of like where my mom was at the beginning stages. And so for him, he probably
Ugh.
forgets what the hell the deficit is, and he goes back to probably when it was in 1990 or whatever it is. This man should really not run for office again. Please, Democrats, you have to do something. You have to stop this. You have to. You cannot allow this man run again. Um, he's just lost. This man is lost.
Well, unfortunately, there isn't anybody who is, or at least for now, going to oppose President Biden in the Democratic caucus and primary season. Now, that may change when the calendar turns to 2024, but at the moment, no one is. And also at the moment, it seems like the Democratic Party is not pushing him out the door to find another candidate.
Well, because he's a puppet. He's someone they can control. So he's feeble-minded. They're like, all right, we can control this dude. Let's keep him in power, and let's see what happens. Listen, like I am for an age limit. Like no one should be running for office after 65. Why don't somebody try to run when they're 35 instead of waiting until they're 90 years old and decrepit to run for office? What do we think that a 35-year-old couldn't run this country?
Unfortunately,
We got
way
CEOs that are 35 and younger that are able to run companies.
unfortunately the way the country has been, even for as long as we have been living, it almost seems as though if you see someone who is in their 40s and they're running for president, they consider that to be too young. Forget 30s. I mean, because people were giving crap to the Democratic Party when Obama was running in 2008, and long before we were born, when JFK was running in 1960, because he was 42 when he was running, and I think he was 43 when he got elected.
And he was from what I've learned in history, he's one of the greatest presidents of all times. So look at that example, and look at what we have now. Like, this man is out enjoying ice cream, and he just looks lost while he's enjoying his ice cream. He's like, he has that look that my grandson Bryson has when he's eating ice cream. Like, yeah, just enjoying the ice cream
and just focus on that and nothing else.
Nothing else. Nothing else. You can't confuse them too much. You can't throw too much at them.
Well, here is the cold hard facts with this. If Biden gets reelected next November, he will be weeks away from celebrating his 82nd birthday. And when he will retake the oath the following January, he would have already turned 82. So there you go. And oh yes, the savior of the GOP, which would be Trump, he currently is 77. So take that for what you will. But I do have someone who is quite young and could fit the bill.
You better not say his name. It better not be who I think it is.
Governor Ron DeSantis.
Oh, I knew this. How I knew you was gonna say his name. Like, really? Like, I don't care how young he. Like, oh no. America, don't do it to yourselves. Don't. You see what's going on in Florida. Do we really want this drama in the White House? Do you really want this drama going on in the White House? Because they will not be saying gay anywhere if DeSantis has it.
Scientists, oh my God.
You definitely will be screwed out of workers in construction and the labor and the farms and all that. Y'all will be suffering. Y'all will be suffering more than y'all suffering now. So I wouldn't vote him.
Well,
but who really is, like, if you really sit and think about it, either any of these guys win, nothing. How can I?
There's nothing redeeming about them.
No, they all suck. They all suck.
Yeah.
They're all pieces of shit in one form or another. In one form or another, they all are. None of them have redeeming qualities. None of them are honest. But I can't say that. Trump to a fault is a little honest. It's honest. These other scumbags, no, not really. Not so much.
Well, the governor of Florida is actually replacing his campaign manager as he tries to retool a struggling presidential campaign that trails far behind the aforementioned person you just mentioned in former President Donald Trump. How can DeSantis rebound in the presidential race when he has so many controversial things happening in Florida?
He's not. There's no rebound. The only way he's rebounding is if Trump gets like he gets found guilty. That's the only way he's beating Trump. The only way. So I could see the GOP in a way making it happen that Trump disappears, because there's people in the GOP that don't want Trump there. They see that he has too much power, that he has too much power with their constituents. They see this. They're like, this man has too much power with these people.
And without their input. And I think that is what hurts worse for them. That he has a lot of power and he does not need the GOP arm.
He can say whatever he wants, and his constituents will follow him. January 6th is prime example. He says he can say what he wants and people will follow. So the Satan, that's his new name. The Satan.
Good Lord, no, he gave him a new name. Oh,
the Satan. He has no shot.
Next episode, it's going to be a whole truth dedicated to Ron DeSantis, aka DeSatan. Oh, God. Ricky Rubio, who is a guard for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know this isn't a sports show, but we're not doing this for sports reasons. He's stepping away from the court. And why? Because he's focusing on mental health ahead of the 2023 FIBA World Cup. What do you think this says to other athletes that Ricky Rubio is stepping away to tend to his mental health?
That you need to be a priority. You need to take care of yourself. I applaud Ricky Rubio for being able to step away and take care of himself, because for many years it's been, men have been blasted and hammered and disrespected, and all they care about is what we provide for people, what we provide. But they don't care what we're going through. They don't care what struggles we're going through. They don't know what we go through. And so I applaud you, Ricky Rubio. You need to take care of your mental health. That's something that we for many years men have neglected. That's for many years we've been afraid to face our mental health issues because of we being judged, saying, look, like he's a worthless piece of man. He's weak. He doesn't know, he can't deal with the stresses of the world. Yeah, exactly. We're human.
Yeah.
We're regular people. We don't. I don't understand why they continuously think that because we're men, we don't have feelings, we don't have emotions, we don't go through stress, we don't go through hardships, we don't. What do they think, that we're invulnerable? So Ricky Rubio, take the time you need to whatever the issues are, take whatever time you need to take care of yourself, man. Because we're here in this life to learn and grow and experience everything. And so whatever you have to do to overcome this obstacle in your path of life, take it, brother. That's what it's needed. And I'm sure you've made, you're well off. You've made enough money in your career where maybe you can take some time away from the sport you love and focus on bettering yourself for yourself and for your family. So I applaud you. And if anyone has anything against it, they can go themselves.
We're just getting started. Mentality will return.
This is all docked up.
Chris, listen, I gotta go to work, Jay. I cannot take a shot every time we say enemies. Very jealous. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. BJ.
So he flies her out. She says, thank you. That was very kind of you. Like, Pernilla's not starstruck. She was like, yeah, you ought to if you want me to come. I wasn't going to foot the bill.
Heroes.
He literally threatened her. His message says, I see you blocking me on WhatsApp. I don't know why. but this is not gonna turn out good for you. Because I blocked you on WhatsApp. You threatening me and my mama?
You have to learn to live with yourself before you can make a commitment of yourself to someone else.
When you go to something that's already structured, like the church, I don't need to go in there thinking I'm the pastor. It's like already one set up, you know what I'm saying?
It just had everything, but I learned, you know what I'm saying? Everything I did, I learned from.
So we look forward to seeing you same time, same place. Know that we love you, God loves you more. Continue to stay safe, do the right thing, stay out of trouble.
Conversation that informs a community. Brothers of Legacy. Every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Welcome back to Mentality, where men are men, and doggone it, that's a wonderful thing. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson, and we were going to talk about rapper Tory Lanez getting sentenced to 10 years for shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot.
There's no need to talk about that.
Thanks to Neo, we're going celebrity style. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, wait a minute, Cole. You just got finished talking about Tory Lanez. What could be even more salacious or meaningful or meaty than that? Well, Neo had a stance and he's doubling down on it. And what is that stance? It is one against children receiving gender-affirming care. The R&B singer drew backlash this past weekend after an interview with Gloria Feliz of Vlad TV, in which he slammed parents who allow children to undergo often life-saving gender transition surgery. Now, later that day, he posted a statement on social media, I believe it was Twitter, expressing his deepest apologies for his insensitive and offensive comments. However, Neo did the very next day when he took down that. He walked back the apology and he said in a video that he will not be bullied into apologizing for having an opinion. And he went on with to say the following, quote, I need y'all to hear this from the horse's mouth, not the publicist's computer. First and foremost, I did not apologize for having an opinion on this matter. I'm a 43-year-old heterosexual man raising 5 boys and 2 girls, okay? That's my reality. If my opinion offended somebody, yeah, sure, I apologize for you being offended because that wasn't my intention. My intention is never to offend anybody. However, I will never be okay with allowing a child to make a decision that is detrimental to their life. I will never be okay with that. I definitely plan to educate myself a little bit more in this matter. However, I doubt there's any book anywhere or any opinion anywhere that somebody's going to tell me that's going to make me okay with letting a child make a decision like that. Close quote. Now, I'll ask this off the bat, sir. Do you believe Neo was out of line for what some call transphobic comments?
Have we not been doing the same show? Have we not been doing the same show? You know where I stand. You know how I feel about this. Neo, listen.
Say it to the brother. Say it to the brother.
It's your opinion, Neo, and I love that fact. I love that, and I don't knock you for that because I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree. I see that. Listen again. We discussed this before. Mm-hmm. Kids are very impressionable. So whatever people put in there. So okay. So one. And I had a great conversation with my niece yesterday. Me, Poppy J, and my niece had a great conversation. Oh, nice. And she said when she was a young girl,
Mhm.
She didn't feel confident about herself. She didn't look like, because she was grown, she was raised around with her brother. She was a tomboy,
Mhm.
and she didn't feel pretty. She didn't feel like a girl. She didn't feel average
Right.
but she feels like she grew out of that. She grew into it. Now she's a mom.
Mhm.
And
She grew into her femininity. Yeah.
yes, but
Mhm.
she's like, but what if at a certain point in my life there was someone telling me, maybe you're not a girl, maybe
Yeah.
you're a boy,
Mhm.
and continuously telling you that, continuously telling that, and and then the kid goes, yeah, maybe you're right, maybe I am a boy.
Mhm.
This is what I'm talking about. That kids are impressionable. So
Yeah.
no kid, like I didn't think about boys and girls till I got older in teens. Like
That's about
I
right.
was thinking about friends. I would go like,
Mhm.
yeah, I know there was difference between us, like me and the girls,
Yeah.
but it's just, to me, it feels like you're trying too hard to give kids options, or to have and be like, you can choose. No, no, that's not your place.
Yes, sir.
It's like he said, he raised 5 boys, 2 girls.
Mhm.
That's his job, to raise his kids
Sure is.
and to help guide them along their way. And
Mhm.
along the way, if one of them decides that they're trans, I'm sure he will support their child.
Yeah.
But
When they
for
become an adult.
schools to have this and be like,
Mhm.
oh no, I don't see
No.
it doesn't sit right with me.
No.
If you're
Mm-mm.
older, if you're 15, 16, 17, and I even think then but you kind of have an idea, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I would
So
say 15 to 18 is 15 to 17 is sort of a maybe to me,
yeah,
but you do have an idea,
yeah.
but yeah. But
But
8,
but like
9, 10, heck
no,
no.
no, they're still growing, they're
No.
still developing,
No. No.
they're still building an identity.
Mhm.
So for these adults to come in with these topics in these schools, no, I
Mhm.
don't agree with that. I don't agree with it. And
No.
I don't think a child should be allowed to. I'm looking at this. A lot of y'all decided that y'all want to play God with these kids.
Drop that bike, man.
Like y'all want to play
Yes.
God with these kids. With
Yes.
kids. If you're an adult and you decided this is the route you want to go, God bless you. Go with that route.
Right.
But we're talking about kids who we're supposed to protect
Mhm.
and nurture and develop and grow.
Mhm.
And when they get to the age and they decide yes, then this again, we
Mm.
support that. That's your
Mhm.
choice.
Yeah.
But not the kids. That's what's
Mhm.
wrong with us now in this
Mhm.
country.
Yeah. Mhm.
That
Yeah.
we don't. It's like we don't care about the kids. Like we're trying to get rid of
Man.
them. Like we're trying to control them and God,
Man.
thank God, a lot of them are becoming free thinkers. A lot of them are like bucking the system and like, no, you're not gonna tell us what to do. Like what?
Mhm.
So yeah, no, Neil, I applaud you.
Mhm.
I didn't see anything wrong with what you said.
Yeah.
If someone is offended by what I said, I can give two f***s.
I agree with Neil and I agree with Wise. I do not think Neil was out of line. I don't even consider the comments transphobic, truthfully.
Yeah, there was
But
nothing transphobic about it.
no, no. He's not saying he hates the gay community or hates the trans community. He's saying I just don't believe in this being taught to children. I'm fine with that. Because I wouldn't want that to be taught to children either.
Yeah,
Because they're not old nor mature enough to accept.
but you'll get
Adults
people.
aren't old or mature enough, some of them, to
But
accept what
you'll get
we have.
people say that we're transphobic.
Okay, well, screw them. I know we're not. I know we're not. We're basically saying children aren't old and mature enough
to make these
to say-
decisions.
Yeah,
That's
to make
to
the
make these decisions. These are
not even-
life-altering
right.
decisions.
They're not old. They're not even old and mature enough to even think heterosexually sexually.
Bro, they don't even know how to wipe their right now. There's adults right now that still don't know how to wipe their. Like,
No,
listen.
I was about to say that. I was just about to say that.
So
Those know how to wipe their minds.
So to say that they're prepared to make these life-altering decisions is craziness. It's craziness.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. At least Neo and Wize gave you the, well, if these comments offend you, I really don't care if they do. So I'm not even gonna give you that. This is what I believe to deal with it. And if you want to call me, if you want to wrongfully call me transphobic, that's your problem. I don't have to deal with you. Because I know people who actually do have a brain know otherwise.
Yeah.
Neo apologized on X, or formerly Twitter, and then he took it down, stating the opposite. Do you think he should have apologized in the first place?
No.
Thank you.
No. For what?
Thank
For
you.
what? For giving your opinion? Like, okay.
Right.
Like, fatless. Like, he gives his opinion, and I watch it to see what his moronic opinion is, but it's his opinion. And I let him be. But we'll talk about him soon. But anyway, yeah, no. Like, he shouldn't apologize. Like, I don't think anyone should apologize for however they feel. For however their opinion is, they shouldn't have to apologize. Unless it's really crazy and it's some outlandish stuff.
Yeah.
Then maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you talking about murdering a group of someone, then yeah, maybe you should.
No, yeah, that's going too far.
Now he's throwing it back.
Yeah. But you and I know he's not saying that at all. Not even close.
Nowhere near
close.
Nowhere near.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe I know the answer to this question because I'm seeing the answer blaring in my head, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you believe we are being bullied into accepting gender identity for children?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I find it to be a huge problem.
Yes. And I hate to side with some certain people, but it makes points. Some of it makes sense, man. Like, there's no need for it to be in our schools. Like, what's the point of it to be in our schools?
Yeah.
Like, again, if you want to experience that in your outside, that's great.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be brought into schools.
No. Mentality will be back in 2 and 2. Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central. What do you get when you watch or listen to the Life Happens podcast? Well, I'll let them tell you.
Kim and I are both ministers of the gospel, and Life Happens podcast is a beautiful balance by simply taking our spirituality with real life and merging it together to create a beautiful balance. And that's what we do.
BS3 Network proudly presents Life Happens podcast. where Christianity and life intersect. Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. Welcome back to Mentality, the show that is created for all men. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson. And if you are living under a rock, you're about to have your jaw drop, because we're going to talk about what has been the rage all this past week in social media, in water cooler conversations, and in conversations at work, at home, at school, if you're attending school now, or anywhere else in the country. It's time to fight the power. Now, last Saturday night, there were 7 people which were taken into custody after a fight broke out at Montgomery, Alabama's Riverfront Park. Why is the Montgomery Riverfront Brawl considered such a lightning rod topic?
Because the great divide between us. There's this divide between black and white, and it's crazy. It's again, we know the history of this country. We know this country was built on slavery, and
you heard that, DeSantis? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
and so now, since President Orange served, because for many years white folk, after segregation and civil rights and all that, like I'm saying, they did their in the back, like they weren't up front with it like how they are now.
Yeah,
like now since President Orange, they just all out full circle. They out. And I'm not saying he's a racist, but I'm just saying he's encouraged that kind of
done that.
That kind of attitude. So with the media and the way everything's going on now, it's crazy that you have so you see, so because from reports you heard the white folks were using racial language, and
that's correct.
And so you could tell that they felt privileged. They're like, listen, we can park here if we want. I don't care. We don't care who you are. And when the man was doing his job, by the way, he was the co-captain of the riverboat. He had to take a boat from the riverboat to the dock because they had been for half an hour on the PA telling the people on the pontoon to move their boat. The captain of the ship was on the PA for more than half an hour telling the people on the pontoon to move their boat. So the co-captain goes on to the docks, starts moving this pontoon and doing his job. And yes, you can see that he's getting upset and he's getting irritated. Like, listen, because I could imagine what they were saying to him.
Yeah.
And so when he finally starts to decide to stand up for himself, this dude just comes out and sucker punches him. And then my man throws his hat up, this bat signal went up. He started throwing hands with the one dude, and then you get 2 other guys coming. Now you see 4 or 5 guys on top and a lady. 4 guys and a lady, all getting their free licks. They're like, "Hey, Negro, get this, Negro. You're gonna feel this."
Jumping.
And then when Jermichael Phelps saw that, he dived into the water, swam across, and then you had a gentleman come down who didn't attack anyone. That a black man came down and didn't attack anyone. He was trying to break it up and was assaulted. And then that's when he started going off and hitting people as well.
Right.
So he didn't go with the intention of, oh, I'm going down there and I'm punching white folks in the face. He went down there like, let me break this up. They beat up this black man. Let me separate this. And what happens? He gets assaulted. Then one of the dock workers, who's a white guy, try to get in and intervene, and the white guy punched him.
Mm-hmm.
So these people were being aggressive. They attacked this dock work, the co-captain.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you expect? What did you expect? This is 2023. You thought we were gonna see? You thought black people was gonna see you beating up on a black guy, and that shit was gonna fly? Nah, man, that wasn't gonna fly. We was not having that. They was not like,
no.
And I'm not about violence, but sometimes again, people need to get punched in the face.
Oh no. You don't have to be about violence and either still want to have something done violently or be the one to actually issue the violence. Because unfortunately, that's how some people only respond.
So we responded how they started it. They respond. They responded with fists and black. It was like, yo, some of the memes I was seeing, they had the circles from Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
And
the
black dudes coming out like the Avengers and stuff. I was dying.
The Doctor Strange circles.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I was dying I was like, yo, people are just crazy.
Yeah, they were like on your left.
They've even talking about making it a holiday like Cinco de Mayo. Like,
oh yeah, Cinco de, yeah. What was it? Cinco de Negro. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cinco de Negro. So yeah. And of course, black people all over were cheering it on. They were making videos because in the video we had some WWE action going on. Like you said, Jermichael Phelps did rock. He did do it looked like he did a rock bottom to somebody. He did everything, and then we just had some extremeness where Unc was coming around just swinging a chair and just bashing people. He didn't matter who, if man, woman, it did not matter. You was getting hit with a chair. You was getting it. You was getting it. And you was feeling the chair shot. And these were some vicious, I didn't even,
he did not hold
WWE, back. Not even WWE where people getting chair shots like this.
Mm-mm.
Like this was some real serious chair shots. Like one grandma caught one right across the face. That was wrong.
Yes.
That was wrong. Funny.
Yes, funny but wrong. Mm-hmm. I agree.
And then when he popped the other dude twice on the head, like two straight chair shots, I'm like, yo, these dudes are wild. I'm lying. I'm not gonna lie. I will not lie. I was laughing my ass off. This is not yes, I understand it's not a situation where I should be laughing, but I was dying, and so I was dying and rolling, and for good reason, because this was funny, like, and then to see white folks respond like, yeah, y'all deserved it, y'all deserved to get your whooped. Like even some white folks were saying, y'all stepped out of line, man, y'all jumped this dude, and then y'all didn't expect to get up. Oh
right.
Man.
Did you believe we will even see more brawls now involving folding chairs in the future?
No, because black people are not allowed to buy folding chairs anymore.
Oh gosh, no.
Like there's putting a ban on that. Like you're gonna have to carry a permit to carry folding chairs. Like you're gonna have it's gonna be a necessity. You have to carry a permit. Like, sir, do you have a permit for that folding chair? Yes, here it is, officer. Like there's gonna be permits for those. They need the weapons now.
have thoughts from the throne. This is Mentality. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
It's your girl, Stacey Rose.
Are you looking for a show with riveting interviews, important community information from a vibrant and grounded host? STK Productions presents The Intro Kit.
Put God first and ask questions later. Let's get it popping. I wanted to give people a platform where they can express themselves and talk about their business and their endeavors in a very safe space.
Content and entertainment just for you. The Intro Kit.
Friday Eve.
Or Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Welcome back to Mentality, where it is the ultimate masculine safe space. With Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson. Here is something to ponder. The Blaze Media's own Jason Whitlock. Not only did he speak this on his show Fearless, he penned an article and an op-ed on Blaze Media or theblaze.com, and it's entitled Montgomery Riverboat Melee Makes Enemies of Allies and Provides Cover for Elites. Now he goes on to, as reference, pull out a book that was published in 1935, written by General Smedley Butler, called War is a Racket. And basically the book spells out fraudulence of war, and the decorated hero explained the financial benefits and rewards of manufactured mass conflict for business elites. Now he goes onward to talk about how in modern America, corporate elite and their tech partners are working to promote race wars and a conflict that is fanned among working class Americans of all colors. Now, he went on to eventually say that basically they are cowards and sellouts, unwilling to confront our real enemies because our idols are our enemies and our enemies are our allies. So I will begin by asking this question, sir. Why is Jason Whitlock stirring the pot again?
Jason Shitless, is he listen again, he wants to make himself relevant. I tuned into that episode and I watched it, and I had to cut it off because he started going on about, oh, I don't know, but maybe the white folks on the platoon were drinking and they got drunk and and it says, but then you can see the security guard was being overly aggressive and I'm sitting there and I'm like, so you're giving the white folks a reason, an excuse for why they did what they did. And because this captain, he's a captain, not a dock worker. So Mr. Shitless, you need to get your facts right. He went and did his job, and you don't know what those people were saying to him. You don't know what names he was being called. And there's no and being drunk is no excuse.
No.
You still need to be held accountable for your actions. So for you to even try and flip it on that the dock worker could have de-escalated, because that's what he said. Dock worker should have de-escalated. How you gonna de-escalate 5 people jumping on your and beating you down? Huh? What's the de-escalation in that?
Yeah.
Again, MAGA, take this fat with you, because he doesn't speak for us. He could take those sheets that he was promoting on his show and wrap himself around with them and go drown himself in the pool. I could give 2
Oh my God, no.
because now, dude, you're now like, I can truly see what kind of man you are. And you're not a man of dignity, and you're not a man of honor. You're a man going to the highest bidder.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen,
wow.
listen. He seems to attack black folk instead of like, and again, what happened on the front, crazy. It out of line. Shouldn't have not happened. It should never happen.
Yeah. Yeah, the event shouldn't happen in the first place. Yeah.
It should have never happened. But it happened.
Right.
And for you to go and try to make it seem like it was this dock worker should have de-escalated.
How could he?
And
how could he? He was being swung on. How could he de-escalate it when he had to defend himself?
Yeah. But this fat thinks that people should again, it's his opinion, and whatever it is, that's his choice. That's his opinion, whatever. But he don't speak for black folk. Black folk don't even like his. So he's trying to make himself relevant. He's trying to get that audience base. That's why he's on Blaze. He's trying to get that audience base route. Like, I'm sure behind the scenes he's like, been like, oh my God, my white folks, they got with, like, to me, this dude, and I'm not gonna even call him a sellout. Like, he to me is he's a waste of space. Again, he's a waste of space. I'm subscribing from his channel because he's a moron. Only reason I was subscribed because I wanted to see what moronic he was saying, and I knew he was. And I told you this. I even told you this before we seen the video, his release. I said, watch Jason Fatless flip it around. And what did he go do? He proved me right. He flipped it around.
Yeah. And as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, I know what we're talking about on this episode.
Yeah. So he could be the fearless. What's he's so fearless about? Going on a diet? That's what he's fearless about? Like, oh. But hopefully this will be the last segment that we speak on this moron. Well, he's already been nominated for moron of the year, so I can't nominate him. But the Platoon family, you are nominated for morons of the year.
You have to find somebody else.
Definitely. All 5 of y'all, all of y'all, everyone that was on that Platoon boat, nominated for morons of the year.
Oh, you had to find
some fatless, witless cannot be nominated again. So Platoon boat family, you are nominated.
Oh,
morons of the year.
Not the pontoon boat family of Montgomery, Alabama. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yes.
Lord. All 5 members of the family.
Or whoever was on that boat. Whoever was on that platoon boat. It'd be 5, 10. Well, if you was on that platoon boat, then consider yourself a nominee for morons of the year.
Gosh. Okay. And now, thoughts from the throne.
All right. So the NFL season is upon us. I am so happy. Actually, as of this recording, my team will be playing tonight. So I get to see a little bit. I know it's not the starters and everything, but I'm excited because my Yankees are playing like so baseball season is done for me. It finished a little bit early. Hey, it's okay. It happens. We can't win them all. I'm okay with I sound like a Dallas Cowboy fan right now. But that being said, football season is here. I'm excited. My team is gonna surprise a lot of people. I got a hater out there talking about my team is gonna be 1-7. He needs a reality check because his team right now is days of our lives. You have the head coach with an assistant he just hired having drama already. So, Mr. D. Willie, make sure you check your own house before you start criticizing my Giants, okay? Because your Commanders aren't looking so well right now. Even though they no longer have Daniel Snyder, they still got drama. How is that possible? But I digress. I'll let it go. But football season is upon us, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the season. So that is my thought from the thrones today.
So I was watching a fashion video with my wife, and it was actually Pharrell doing his first men's fashion show in Paris. And a lot of things was just brilliantly done. Chief amongst it was music. One of the songs was Peace Be Still, a song that he wrote, and one that he wrote with, I believe, a piano player. And I saw that video. I was wowed by it. And then the very next morning, I played that song again, and I found myself crying because I totally understand why women do cry, and it's not for bad. It's actually for good, and not necessarily for a gift that's sprung on them, but something that just touches you so deep enough to where you just purge whatever it is out of you, and you feel the beauty of life enter into you. Life gets pretty hard. Life gets pretty tough. And many people think that you are supposedly impenetrable, impervious to pain, and can simply be like Superman. You can take any bullet that is thrown at you and it just bounces off of you like your Teflon. No, you're not. Life gets at you. And sometimes you need to release. You have the permission, and we give you that permission on this show to release. You need to do it because your very existence on this planet depends on it. And plus, you get stronger because you get rid of toxic things that don't belong in you, because you were built not to have toxic things be a part of your life. So remember that. A good cry is good for you, just like it is a woman. And it is not effeminate. It's human. And those are thoughts from the throne. All right, sir. Anything that you have on your mind before we say goodbye to our mentality audience?
No, I'm actually good. I'm good. I'm good. I said what I had to say. It's been a pretty interesting week this week, man. Like things are really looking up, man. We got a great show here. I'm like life is looking up, man. Life is definitely looking up, and only the best for us, bro. Only the best from here on out for us. We're gonna keep shining, and thanks to everybody for supporting us. We greatly appreciate it. We truly do. It's been a pleasure working with you, brother. It's been my honor to be able to work with you and be able to provide people with some great shows. I love it. I love being able to do this. And again, this is the ultimate goal, is to have this become a full-time job. So we're able to provide mentality for you more often and continue to bring great content, man. Like, one of our goals is to have that panel show. We definitely got to have that panel show. We have people that want to come through and be a part of mentality, because we are the hottest thing out right now. I don't care what anybody says. Once you watch mentality, you hook. Like, we that drug you need. So definitely continue to support us and thank you everybody.
Well, to you, my friend, all I have to say is, man, the feeling's mutual and the pleasure's all mine, because I'm honored to be standing on any platform with you. It could be online, on a stage, it could be audio, it could be video, it could be in person, doesn't matter. I'm honored to do anything with you of this nature, because I'll even say it like this. This was ordained by God to happen, and I'm so glad that it has. And I'm putting it out there. Yeah, it was, and it is. And there's only more about this that's going to be. This show's only get better. It's going to get better. And the funny thing is, we've only done this for 6 months, and this show already is fire. That's the
And
amazing
it's just growing, man. It's just growing, and we're
Mhm.
just getting better with each episode, man. So
with
each episode, we're just improving. We're getting more comfortable. Like, I wouldn't say we're already comfortable with each other, but I'm just saying it's just
that's not even a question.
We're just really getting more comfortable and like letting our wings spread and be ourselves, man. That's the greatest thing about us, that we get to come on here and there's nothing fake about anything we say. Everything we say is truly our opinions. It's truly how we feel. We're not trying to sugarcoat anything for anyone, because that's just not how we're built. BS3 Network. Download it today if you haven't. Roku. Go to your
That's
Roku, download the BS3 Network, which we are actually nominated for a BS3 Network Award. So
most versatile podcast. That's right.
Yes, we have been
That's
nominated.
right. Yeah.
So,
So
check us out.
So you probably will see a ballot at the bottom of the description box. Go to that ballot and vote for the most versatile podcast on that platform, which happens to be this
mentality.
And that concludes yet another episode. We thank you for joining us as we bring it to you every week. And we are going to say in closing, as we always do, our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. Until next week.
Peace out.
That's 100.